If you're a dad who weighs between 235 and 250 pounds and you're trying to lose fat and you're considering getting a walking pad because you spend 8 to 10 hours behind your desk, and maybe you're just wondering, is this thing actually worth it? Or is it just gonna be another thing that collects dust in my house? What I would challenge you, my brother, is that you don't necessarily have a fat loss problem, but you have a movement problem. And today I'm gonna break down exactly the science behind simply just moving more, of how that affects your fat loss, how simply walking after your meals can improve your digestion, which can help you get into a fasted state sooner, and how I structure my days to get 15,000 steps every single day. And I'll actually throw in, after having my walking pad for the last 3 or 4 months now, see if it's even worth it for you and give you my feedback after using it. My name is Kevin Andres. I'm the owner of K-Squared Fitness, and I help dads lose 20 to 40 pounds without doing extreme diets. I've taken the same principles that I use with NFL athletes and special operations in the military and simplified the process, made structures, systems, and accountability around it to support you with where you're at in your journey. And one of the biggest things that we can do to improve your lever is increasing your step count. And I get text messages just like this every single day from my clients who have radically changed their life simply by moving more and focusing on nutrition on the backside. I mean, even just David, he just started the program just a couple of weeks ago and he's already down like 10 pounds. Hear it from him.
I got a small one, short and sweet. I'm down 2 more pounds from last week, so slow, consistent wins.
What's that on the total?
33 from the first message I sent you.
That a boy. That's what I'm talking about. And how long's it been?
You know, I'm not sure. I can check the chart, but I want to say around 3 months, 3 and some change.
Fantastic, brother.
It's not magic, guys. It's just physiology. So I'm gonna break this down to a couple different steps. And the first thing that I want you to think about is NEAT. And what I'm talking about is your calorie burn is not just from your workouts. It's from all the other things that you do in your day. It's called NEAT, non-activity thermogenesis. That's just walking. That's standing. That's fidgeting. That's being a human being and going about your day. That's where the majority of your caloric expenditure is going to take place. Now, for most people in their workout, they're going to train for anywhere from 30 to 55 or maybe a little over an hour. That's going to be like 5 to 15% of what your caloric burn for the day is. And then your NEAT is like 15 to 30% of your day. Now, there's things you can do in your workouts that can have that carry over to burn higher calories throughout the rest of the day. But put it into your mind, like if you work out hard for 45 minutes and then you sit for 10 hours a day, you're not an active person. So just as a ballpark, if you have your step counter on and you say 10,000 steps, it's probably going to be somewhere between like 300 and 500 calories, depending on your body weight. So if you get to 15,000 steps, it's going to be somewhere between like 400 and 700 calories. Simply by walking after your meals improves your digestion and can help you regulate your insulin levels and your blood sugar and help cravings be eliminated by like 20%. And when you can start to control your insulin spikes, that will have a direct correlation on your fat loss journey, because there's a difference in losing weight and there's a difference in losing fat loss or fat. And that's what I want to talk about next. I want to talk about the digestion. What most men do is they eat and then they go plop down and sit on the couch. That's probably the worst thing that you can do for your digestion, because when you eat, you have protein, you have carbohydrates, all that food, all that blood just goes right to your gut, which then means that your glucose is going to rise, your insulin is going to rise, and then guess what happens after that? Energy crashes. Now, I implement what's called the 10-20 rule. Super simple. After you eat, walk for 10 to 20 minutes. Easy pace, get out in nature if you can, but if you got to get back to work, this walking pad that I have takes up hardly any space and allows me to get right back to work. And when you do that, you're gonna have better gastric emptying, you're not gonna feel as bloated, and you're gonna have more stable energy, you're gonna have more clarity. Movement helps the brain, movement helps the body. So just walking for 10 to 20 minutes after your meals is a simple way to improve your steps, improve your digestion, and improve your energy. So I'm gonna give you a little snippet of how I get 15,000 steps a day. So first thing in the morning, I take a cold plunge, right from the morning, because that's going to help set my circadian rhythm. It's going to improve my focus. It's going to make me alert. I then work out. Right after the cold plunge, I do 15 minutes of cardiovascular conditioning to heat up my core body temperature after doing the cold plunge. Now, since I'm doing that cardiovascular conditioning, I'm getting steps in there because I'm already moving. From there, I'll go into about 40 minutes of strength and hypertrophy AKA muscle building work. And then from there, and I posted another video on exactly what the training program looks like and all that, so you can find out more in the description below for that. So after my workout, then I go have, I talk about this all the time, a high carb to protein ratio, because carbs aren't bad. You just want to have them centered around your workout. So I have that big meal. My first meeting is at 8 a.m. and then I'm on my desk. I have my walking pad under my desk and I walk anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. So typically by 9 a.m. I'm already at like 7,500 steps, depending on how fast I'm going, of course. So then I'll work for a few hours. I'll have lunch at 12 o'clock. And then after eating lunch, guess what I do? If I can go outside, I'll go for a 10-minute walk because I probably got to get back to the computer. Otherwise, if I have the ability or if I have to get back on the computer, again, I'll walk after my lunch. Improve my digestion, clear my gut, clear my mind, get some movement in, start to process some of the things I have to get done. Helps me have energy going into the back half of my afternoon. And then after dinner, get outside, play with the kids, run around. That's just kind of how I sprinkle in movement throughout my day. I'm not working out for 2 hours a day, guys. It's focused, it's intentional movement, it's prioritizing the right foods with the right movement to stay lean year round. No bulking, no cutting. I'm not trying to get on stage. I'm not trying to get you on stage either. Now, if you're about 250 pounds, the way we can get an estimate is if you're not moving very much, your sedentary, probably weight times 10 is gonna get us in the ballpark of about what your caloric intake needs to be, unless you've totally wrecked your metabolism by trying to do extreme diets in the past. Let's just call it 2,700, 2,500, somewhere in that range. Now, what most people do wrong is they try to cut their calories so low. This is what I mean by screwing with your metabolism, and that can have a long-term effect on messing with your metabolism. Now, if you can flip the script, instead of having to eat so low with calories, what if you started walking after your meals? What if you got a walking pad and you increased your activity, like I talked about earlier? If you can increase your step count, you're going to increase your caloric intake. In order to lose weight, you got to be at a deficit. So instead of trying to eat less and less and less and less and less and rely on willpower, which is going to turn into being hangry, hungry, and just can't last, move more. If you can move more throughout your day, if you can improve your NEAT, this is a simple way that you can increase your weight loss journey. You can lose anywhere from 0.5 pound to 2 pounds per week with the right movement coupled with a simplified nutrition strategy. This is exactly what we did for Travis. Hear from him. This is the first time in years he has seen a 1 on the scale. Hear from him.
I saw a 1 in front of the scale this morning, and early last week for the first time in like 10 years. So pretty proud of that. 55 pounds down total. I guess 51 now, or 56, but it's 199 this morning. So feeling pretty good about that.
Can you say it louder for the people in the back, because that's badass, brother?
Yeah, it definitely hits home. It's one of those wins, one of those milestones that I'm just that much closer. So 199, first time since like 2015. Pretty nice.
That's fantastic.
30 more to go, but one step at a time.
Good work, man.
It's a perfect example. Most guys try to diet harder, try to willpower their way through, as opposed to looking for the least path of resistance and finding a way to make it more sustainable. So let's be completely honest. After having the walking pad for a few months, as I go into some feedback on it, is it worth it, right? Costs anywhere from $300 to $600. You can get a discount if you look in the description down below. So I can give you, I'm affiliated with this company now that I like it and I approve it. Get a discount down in the description. But just play along with me here. Like, realistically, this is an extreme thought, but it's also real. Medical bills, diabetes, blood pressure medication, literally reducing your lifespan of not just moving more is the simplest thing you can do. So is it worth it for $300 to $600? 1,000%. It's not a toy. It doesn't take up a lot of space. I mean, I can straddle the entire length of this thing. But just like anything, if you don't use it, it's not gonna do you any good. If you think you're gonna use it twice and then you just know that you're gonna quit, let me teach you the A, B, C framework so that doesn't happen. Number one, you gotta anchor it to something. Anchor is something that you're already doing in your life every single day. You could say dropping your kids off to school, and then the B is the behavior that you want to slip in and start doing. That's when I can do my walk. In my case, 8 a.m., my first meeting, I have my meeting every day at 8 a.m., boom. That's when I do my first walk. I was meeting at 8 a.m. for years, wasn't walking. Wanted to start increasing my step count since I started working from a desk more often. Had the meeting, anchored the steps, bingo, bing, bop. Is celebrate the change, recognize and reflect on the positive benefits that adding in that behavior did to your life. So the walking pad is perfect if you're working from home. If you're struggling to get 8 to 10,000 steps per day, if you're in meetings all day long, or if you just feel freaking bloated after your meals and your energy continues to crash in the afternoon, this is a simple way that you can improve that. And of course, yes, I want you to walk outside, but that doesn't always happen. Weather conditions, you gotta be back on meetings, and you can find ways to not get movement in, where you can say, this is a standard that I'm gonna do regardless of the circumstances. I'm gonna get outside when I can, but if not, I'm gonna walk on the treadmill. A walking pad just decreases the path of resistance. So if you pick up a walking pad, which I highly recommend you do, the first thing that I want you to do the first week is not to try to go all in and start walking all this. Just make the habit after your breakfast, lunch, and dinner to walk for 10 minutes. Week 2, see if you can walk for 15 minutes. Week 3, see if you can walk for 20 minutes. Your goal is to do 10 to 15,000 steps per day. And one of the reasons why I love this particular walking pad is if you wanted to make it a workout, there is different settings on here to where I could choose a mode. There's 10 different workout modes, and it'll take you through a 30-minute workout. So it'll actually, this bad boy has an incline. It can increase the speed, goes up to 4 miles an hour. Incline goes up to 10. So and most of the time when I'm working, I'm just having it on 2.5, 3 miles an hour, and it's just flat. And I'm just working so it doesn't distract me. You might have to walk slower or whatever. But if I wanted to do a workout after dinner when I'm not actually focused on doing work, I can just turn on a mode and it'll crank up the speed, crank up the incline, and I can get a great workout. And, I have a lot of conversations with dads about fat loss, and they want to do all these different extreme approaches. But if we start the process off smaller, making the least path of resistance, making it habitual life changes versus this slamming this PDF down and here's all the things you have to start doing tomorrow, it's just a much more challenging that way, which is probably why you failed with weight loss in the past and you've gained it back. But the boring truth is that consistency wins every single time. And walking and using your body is one of the easiest tools that you can begin to use now. It's low impact. It's hardly any chance of injury. And that's why the elite people in the fitness space focus on such a simple thing that you can do, which is just increasing your movement, which is NEAT, NEAT. You can increase your NEAT. You can increase the amount of calories you burn throughout your day. If you found this video helpful, hit the subscribe button and check out the description down below on how to pick up your walking pad and start small. Start with the walking after your meals. And if you want the full system, how to structure not only the walking, but the workouts and the nutrition, the same things that I've done with all these guys here on this screen showing all these different transformations, check out the description down below and I can show you how we can plug it into your life despite you having a job that takes up 8 to 10, 12 hours of your day and you're being on the road and all these different things. And just remember, my man, you don't need to have more intensity. You need to have more intentional movement. And simply just having a walking pad can help you out. Check out the description down below and I'll see you guys on the next one.